Hey, Clorox. Good to see you on. Alright, looks like my mic is working, which is good to see, as opposed to last time. It looks like I'm a little low this time, though. Let me see if I turn that up just a wee bit. Alright, let's see here. That's getting better. Alright, I think that's a little too high. Okay, cool. That shouldn't be too terrible. I don't know what happened last week with the mic, but it looks like we're good now, and I don't want too much spiking there. Plus, I don't talk all that loud half the time. Anyways, so another live stream tonight with exposing D&D 5e CRs. This will be interesting going into the future when 5.5 comes out, or if it's 6, whatever it's going to be, not quite sure. But for now, it's 5e, and that's what we're looking at, and exposing those actual challenge rating numbers. So this should be pretty fun. Got a couple homebrews that have been requested from Clorox and Clawpaw, which is great. I love seeing these homebrews and helps, you know, double check everything and making sure things look good and then throwing them out into the wild and see where we go with them. I got a cat by my side and it looks like I'm good to go. And speaking of Clawpaw, there he is. How's everyone's Friday night / Saturday morning going? Had a pretty good day. I'm currently on taking my vacation days before the next fiscal year starts for my job. So I have to get all my vacation days out of the way before July. So taking a lot of long weekends. I mean, every weekend from the beginning of May till the end of June is going to be a nice 4 or 5 day weekend, which is awesome. So I'm really using that time effectively. Let's see here. What did I do today? Did some house chores, mowed the lawn, got my videos prepped for next week. I just got to do the recordings and get those ready to go. And did some more mini painting. So everything's going good. Wade! Hey Wade, how's it going? Oh, fun. Largest dungeon ever. Excellent. Do tell more. I'm excited to hear about that. I'd like to know what else you got going on. And let's see here. Clorox. Pretty good. Got the session 0 for my Eberron game after work tomorrow. Pretty excited for it. That's awesome. Definitely let us know like how your session 0 went, Clorox, in the Discord. I'd love to know what you discussed, what kind of questions were asked, what besides, you know, rolling out characters and building the characters, what else you did, you know, get your baselines out of the way. I'm pretty interesting. And Clawpaw's got a pretty hot and stormy one over there. But besides that, pretty chill. That's good to hear. It's like sprinkling. It was raining a little bit earlier. Luckily I got my lawn mowed before it rained, like an hour before it rained, which was fantastic. All right, let me get to the live screen here and we will get into this because we got a couple homebrews and I like to give them some dedicated time. All right, here we are, live screen on. And let's jump right into this. It looks like my monster... Oh, yeah, now it's reset. Good. Okay. So we have the High Cardinal Crozin, a request from Clorox here, I believe it was. Just want to double check and make sure. Where am I at? Wrong server. There we go. Monster requests, and yes, sure enough, that was Clorox. Okay, cool. Okay, so High Cardinal Crozin. Oh, also, before we get started, pretty soon, I know in the Discord we talked about this a little bit. I got some reactions from that, which was excellent to see. I also put out a poll on the channel about doing like monster versus monster, like kind of PvP live streams and just having a battle with corrected CRs using my CRs here. So let me go to the channel real quick and let's take a look at that. YouTube/C. There we go. Community. Okay. So this is the one I'm talking about here. In response to live stream monster battles, you win. We had the heck yes, which I took as a yes, and then the let me get my popcorn first, which technically could be a no. I didn't really give a no option, but luckily I got 153 votes. So regardless if anyone actually shows up for these, it'll be great entertainment, I'm hoping, and more to add to the channel, you know, beyond just the shorts. So I think this will be a fun one, and I'm going to be incorporating my brother into this. He enjoys D&D. He's only played it a few times, So it'll be fun to have someone not as experienced with D&D playing and just kind of doing the back and forth. Plus, he's a hilarious dude. And for anyone that in the Discord saw the part 1 of the orcs versus like a party CR analysis, that was my brother in there doing some voices and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's get back into this here. What else we got here? Wade's got the big dungeon, important to plot, 15 plus rooms. Ooh, that is going to take a while. Expect probably, I would guess, unless your players blow through that, Wade, probably easily 4 or 5 sessions. I know my players will just crawl through a dungeon and make sure they cover everything like a good, video game dungeon crawl. Clorox for sure made a nice little list of topics cover. Characters have been in development for 2 years. Wow, okay, this game has been a long time coming. Ooh, all right, yeah, that should be interesting for the synopsis. And then Clawpaw says, let's go. POG, my streamer, yes. All right, cool. Let's take a look at High Cardinal Crows in here. A medium humanoid, lawful evil. Okay, wearing 18 AC with plate mail. Okay. We have 18 D8 hit dice with a 72 bonus, or plus 72 from the Constitution, which we get the following stats of 20, 10, 18, 13, 20, and 17. Very good. And that gives us the 153. Perfect. Okay. Moving down into the next section, we have 2 saving throws. We don't have to worry about that, so we won't bother putting that in. We are looking at a 15 for a CR. And we only have some skills, some conditioned immunities, and the rest of the stuff. So we can jump right down into the monster traits. Get right into it. Okay. Superior Focus. Crozin has advantage on Constitution saving throws made to maintain concentration on cleric spells. Okay. Constitution saving throws made to maintain concentration. Okay. Cool. I like the idea. That is super helpful and thematic for the encounter. As per working out CRs, technically we wouldn't have to worry about it because we always take the best case scenario here. So we wouldn't do anything with the superior focus. Cheryl Gnome, hello there. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Wade says they'll be piloting a beloved NPC through it from an observation room from which they can pass on items and abilities to aid his journey. Oh, that's cool. No, that's... sounds like a really well thought out dungeon. Fantastic. I'm going to have to look up. I unfortunately don't know the POG, so I'm going to have to look up what that means, sadly. I blush because I don't know what it means. Alright, next up we have Servant of Flame. Whenever Crozin deals fire damage with a cleric spell, he can choose to deal radiant damage instead. Okay, cool. We can skip over that. Resilience of the Flame. Whenever Crozin fails a saving throw, he can choose to re-roll the saving to that save with advantage. Okay, well, let's see here. So this is important. This is kind of along the lines of almost like Legendary Resistance. Oh boy, thank you, Clawpaw. I will do that off stream and see what happens. Alright, so the Resilience of Flame here. Can re-roll a save with advantage. That is... okay. So this is a situational bonus, and actually I had a great comment from one particular person on the YouTube channel that leaves a lot of comments all the time. I don't recall the name at the moment. I can see the picture for the profile pic. And he was going back and forth with another constant commenter about certain bonuses and whatnot. And it was great because the explanation for +1, +2, and +4 was when you get a +1, it happens randomly. So kind of like Stench. When Stench goes on, you're getting a +1 because you're only expecting maybe one person to get affected by it. The +2 comes from stuff that will happen more frequently. So kind of like every other turn, maybe it'll happen. And that's where the +2 comes from. The +4, or sometimes +5, comes from it's always happening, like Blood Frenzy. Blood Frenzy is a perfect +4 bonus here. It always happens, so you're just going to have advantage regardless. So for Resilience of Flame, I would award this probably a +2 attack bonus. Or no, AC, because this is for saving throws. And because we only get it 3 times, so we're having it for technically the first maybe 3 rounds. We could say maybe once per round of combat we would use this, unless we have to use it up every in the first round. Who knows? So I would say +2 AC for this one right here, for Resilience of Flame. So let's go ahead and throw that in. And we'll put that bonus right there. Let's see here what Clorox says. It's a variant I give to some creatures. It's more fun for the players when the monster still has a chance to fail. Yes, it certainly is. I totally agree with you there, Clorox. Okay, we have Spell Penetration next. Whenever a spell cast by Crozen is interrupted by a counterspell, a similar effect, treat the spell as if it were 3 levels higher. Ooh, nice. That is a fun little effect there to get through the spells. Wow, that is fantastic. I like that. But still going to be no effect because it's just for counterspell and allows the spells to go through, still doing the same amount of damage regardless. Potent spells, whenever this person deals damage with a cleric spell, he can add an additional 4.5 and his wisdom modifier +5 to the damage of that spell. Okay. So more than likely, all of this should be added into the spell casting as it is, which we will talk about in a little bit. And then we have Argent Aegis. Whenever Crozen is hit with an attack, the attacker takes 5d10, or, just 5 radiant damage and must make a Constitution saving throw or be blinded until the end of Crozen's next turn. Whenever Crozen is hit with an attack... Alright, so we're dealing 5 radiant damage and possibly blinding the person for 1 turn. Okay. So let's take a look at Blindness Deafness as a spell. Okay, so for Blindness Deafness, the spell targets 1 person, and they have to do the save every round of combat. So this is where we get the 16 effective DPR. For this, since it's only 1 round of combat, I like to divide that by 3. So we'll take the 16 here, divide it by 3, and we'll get 5.3, and we'll round down. So blindness will, in essence, give us 5 effective DPR, and if we convert that 5 DPR into effective hit points, because we are stopping damage from happening possibly, we could say that the blindness gives us 12 effective hit points for that 1 round of combat. Let's see here, stolen from MME 3. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, Monster Manual Expanded 3. Awesome. Okay. I still have to get that book, and I'm working on it. Okay. So we will add in Argent Aegis here and throw that into the Heated Body section because we could gather, they'll always be hit with a melee attack every round of combat because generally your party's going to have 1 person in melee, probably 1 person ranged, and some kind of support possibly, or another, who knows, some kind of skirmisher. So we'll add in that 5 DPR right there for Argent Aegis. Okay, let's go into the action section now and see what we get next. Multi-attack. Let's see. Crozen makes a silver fire blast attack, then uses spellcasting. Alternatively, Crozen makes 2 Warhammer attacks, then makes a silver fire blast attack. Cool. Alright, our silver fire blast. And that is going to be +10, it looks like, for every attack, which is excellent. And then we have, let's see here. Okay, reach 5 feet or 90 feet. Okay, so that's cool. It can be a melee or ranged spell attack. Awesome. And we are dealing 19 radiant damage plus 9 fire damage. I just want to double check here. Okay, that's just for the cleric spell, and there was nothing else, no other riders. Okay. Alright, so for our damage, we have, 46 plus 5 coming from either strength or wisdom. Doesn't really matter. That's fine. We just put that there. And 2d8 for a total of 9. Excellent. Alright, so our first point of damage is going to be the 28 there. And then, what do we have here? We next have... Oh, also, if the target is of an evil alignment, it takes an additional 7 radiant damage. Okay. since we know, generally speaking, most players aren't evil, in theory, unless they decide to go with the evil thing. This is a on-off, so for the time being, I'm going to say we'll just take this off. We'll leave it out for the time being, and then possibly come back to it if we need it later on, but I will add that in there to remind myself. And if anything, just to make sure I don't forget, we'll put that here, and we'll add in that there. So we now have our Silver Fire Blast here in case we have not evil and evil. Okay, next we have the Warhammer, and the Warhammer can deal, let's see here, 1d5, or 1d10 plus 5, 10.5 bludgeoning damage, so I'll just do that. Plus another 7 fire damage. If the target is medium or smaller, it makes a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. I don't worry about knocked prone because generally by the next time you make the attack, the creature may have already stood up, or the turn has ended, or, you know, there's so many factors with prone that I don't even bother worrying about the slight advantage you can get from having someone knocked down and prone. Yeah, that's what I was figuring, Clorox, with the radiant damage here, just flavor, which is cool. I like that. It's a nice little extra in case there is something evil. Okay, so we have our Warhammer done. Then we have our spell casting. What do we have for spell casting? We have Guidance, Light, Sacred Flame of 3d8, Thaumaturgy, whatever, Word of Radiance, 3d6, and then we have Guiding Bolt, Hold Person, Mass Cure Wounds, Banishment, Dispel, Magic, Immolation, and Spirit Guardians. Okay, we have some really good ones there. Let's see. So we have our two... How do I want to do this? Because we only have a couple spells here. Alright, Guiding Bolt would be at level 1, since it's basically an at-will innate spell. So we have, let's see here. Oops. Guiding Bolt is 14 DPR, okay. Or, let's see, Immolation and Spirit Guardians. Spirit Guardians is going to be pretty clutch here. Immolation is level 5 spell, can be done twice per day. Okay, so let's see here. Immolation, 70 DPR, and then Spirit Guardians, where is that one hiding? Perfect, level 3. Alright, 27 DPR for that. Okay, since we can have Spirit Guardians up and concentrating on that, unless we have it somewhere else. Let's see here. Clorox. Will note that potent spells was meant to only apply to the first instance of a spell's damage. Need to clear that up in revision. Okay. That sounds fantastic. What was that? Potent spells. Okay. Deals damage with the cleric spell. Okay, so this sounds like it's primarily for spell attacks. Because you're dealing the extra D8 here, and then his wisdom modifier is +5 to the spell of that damage. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it still sounds like it's for spell attacks, not necessarily for saving throw spells. Like AoEs and such. Is it for all spells, or just like direct damage spell attacks? Okay, let me get back to this here. We would definitely want to use that, and we have the Immolation, so we have 27 and 70. 27 there, 70 there for the top damage dealing spells, which is fantastic. Okay, let's get into that multi-attack here. We have a couple options. We can do a Silver Fire Blast, then use spell casting. So we would do the Silver Spell Attack Silver Fire Blast plus a spell. And it can be either one of these, which would definitely want to be Immolation first time. Oops. For that, or we could also do this plus the Spirit Guardian setup. And then the alternate one is 2 Warhammer attacks and a Silver Fire Blast. Okay, so that will be, let's see, 2 of these plus 1 of those for 63. The only prerequisite is that it's a cleric spell, which all the spells listed are considered as such, so it would apply to the first instance of damage of an AoE spell. Okay, cool. Alright. Okay. Let me see here. So the Warhammer combo is pretty good. We have the setup for that, which is with the Spirit Guardians here. We also have the setup for Immolation. Those are going to be our massive high damage dealing abilities. All right, let's move on to the rest of this, and then we will start figuring out how much we're dealing for damage. Okay, Righteous Conflagration. Probably only see this once in the first 3 rounds of combat, since this is a 6 to recharge, which means technically we shouldn't see this spell again until the 7th round of combat, in theory. I mean, depending on how dice roll, who knows? You could see this twice, 3, who knows? We could see it all 6 times, but the odds of that are extremely high. Grows and targets one creature he can see within 120 feet of him, fills the silver flame to burn the target to ash. The target makes a con save and takes 86 radiant damage on a failed saving throw, or half as much. If this damage would reduce the target to 0, it dies and reduces it to ash as if they were hit with a disintegration spell. Okay. Simple enough on that one. We will just do 86 points of damage to one target. Okay. Let's see here. What would I do for round 1 of combat? Obviously, I would want to set up for Spirit Guardians. I believe Spirit Guardians is probably going to be the #1 thing to do first. So, we would say, take this. And then we could also possibly add in the Potent Spells ability. Deals damage with a cleric spell, because yes, we would be dealing damage with Spirit Guardians. So we could add in 4.5 and +5 to the damage. So we could add in another, was that 9.5? So we'll do 9.5 there. And then we would say for round 2 would be probably, yeah, the next highest one would be, ironically enough, I would just do the Silver Fire Blast and 2 rounds of Immolation, plus we would have the Spirit Guardian still up and running. So we're looking at a lot of damage here for that. 98 points. And then after our Immolations run out, then the next thing I would do is use the use this Righteous Conflagration. Oh, and I also forgot, we need to look at the bonus action and the reaction. So before we go any further, let's see about these. Bonus action, Holy Power. Crozin imbues the next attack he makes with the power of the Silver Flame, causing the next attack on that turn to hit, that it hits to deal an additional 11 radiant damage. Okay, so that, I believe, would include the Silver Fire Blast, ramping it up with Holy Power. Yeah, it's an attack, so we would add in... Alright, so we'll put that here for 11. So we will just simply add in this as well. And then that's the one bonus action we have. And then we have a reaction of Warding Flame, recharges 4 to 6. As a reaction to being attacked, Crozin can release a flare of silver fire towards the attacker, forcing the attack to be made with disadvantage. Okay, so this is one reaction. We could see this 2 out of 3 rounds of combat because we get a 50% recharge chance on 4 to 6. So what are we getting out of this? This is similar to parry in the effect that we are increasing our chances to have an attack miss. So I would say I would just give it I would give it the +1 AC bonus of parry. I'm just going to throw that on there. I don't think it's too terribly overpowering, and it's only disadvantage for the one attack since it's using his reaction also. So that's where I would go with it. I mean, we can't use it every round of combat. It's possible we could, depending on how the dice roll. I mean, 4 to 6 is pretty good. Like I said before, 50-50. So I think that's pretty fair for that one. All right. So now we have everything set. Let's continue on with this. So the last things we have are as I said, I would do Immolation next. We still have our Spirit Guardians going. The Spirit Guardians are getting that plus 9.5 damage from the potent spells ability, and we are also adding in Holy Power to our Silver Fire Blast. Okay, and then from there I would tag that, and yeah, there you go. We have a CR15, just like Clorox had printed out. You did your homework. You lined it up really well, Clorox. Excellent job here. I like that you limited the amount of spells that you have, which is a really great way to go. I like how the newer books with spellcasters are focusing on something like this right here. This is important. Turning a big spell into a like melee ranged spell, so it has versatility, can't be countered, and also ramps up damages and whatnot, is a great way to go. I like this a lot. This is fantastic. You have a lot of other spells in here that are for, you know, aid and control and whatnot. Like with the hold person, that could be super helpful. Yes, just like you said there, Clawpaw. I like the pretty, you know, all the alignment stuff too, which is a nice fun thing here. Big W, glad he turned out on point. Yeah, this is fantastic. So, excellent work, Clorox. Keep up the fantastic work you're doing with these custom monsters. These are A plus S. I don't know how you want to go. Double S here. I play a lot of Beat Saber in my free time, so a double S monster is like the best you can do. Double S in for Beat Saber. But yeah, this is fantastic. Nothing too crazy. You've got a bunch of extra stuff in here. You know, a couple attack cantrips, which is good. You've got hold monsters, some aid spells with mass cure wounds. This is good. This is fantastic. I like this. Perfect. Okay, so we have a heavy striker here. I would almost probably go with glass cannon territory because of how wide this gap is. We got an OCR 20, a DCR 9. So yeah, even with that AC of 18, whew, not too much in the way of hit points. So, you know, that's going to be curious keeping this person, this NPC alive. But yeah, that's cool. I like it. Okay, there we go. Even with the spells, we are right on point. And nothing to worry about with resistances or immunities, so this character is pretty much right where they're at, and at the mercy of the dice. That's the big key here. Who knows where those dice are going to roll. Okay, so let's clear this out. I'm going to take a sip of some drink because my tongue is right now. Oh, that's good to hear, Clorox. Fantastic. Okay. Moving on to Clawpaw's request here of Demos. A large undead titan, chaotic evil. Excellent. So let's see where we go here. Ooh, excuse me. Just knocked my mic around a little bit. Okay. Let's see what Clawpaw has to provide with this fantastic looking monster here. Okay. So we're looking at 17 AC, which, with nothing denoting next to it, looks like it's coming potentially from its dexterity in theory? I'm guessing this is natural armor for this Clawpaw. Oh man, a party of 6, so most combat will feature lots of minions. Yes, you really need distractions. Definitely need distractions with that many characters. That's why I love this encounter builder here. Don't, you know, I've learned real fast. I had story time here, folks. My first, well, no, I'm now on my 3rd campaign. My first campaign that I started, I had to drop. There's a story with that. So the second campaign, we got into this one part where I had to really, was supposed to be like a big monster with the big bad monster with a lieutenant, and the lieutenant got just hamstrung real hard. The big monster got stunned because we were using the Mystic on UA class, and it just went downhill fast. So please, I know a lot of people are like, well, this monster is supposed to be solo and this and that. It's like, okay, I understand that the lore says a white dragon is supposed to be by itself, but maybe it's mating season, or maybe it's got a whole bunch of kobolds working with it. Who knows? Maybe there could just be random basilisks or something up there in the, Yep, Lorndar knows. It was his mystic that just stunned the hell out of that encounter. Hey, buddy, didn't know you were in the channel. That's awesome. But yeah, this is why I've learned my lesson, and I always recommend, like, okay, make sure there is at least a 1-to-1 ratio of monsters to players. Gotta go with that 1-to-1 ratio. So if you got 6 players, Clorox, make sure there are at least 6 monsters in there, if not probably a little more. All right, so let's see here. What did I miss with the chat? Clawpaw said, little bonus info, Demos was the sibling of terror in a Greek mythology and just means horror or terror. Ah, nice. And then Clawpaw also said, and yes, it's a bony fire shaman-like thing. Had a few problems with the vulnerabilities, resistances, and immunity, so I took the lowest one. Should be around CR 14 plus or minus 2. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at that now that story time's over. Okay. So we have 17 here. Probably natural armor for this. It is a large undead. And we have 19 D10 hit dice with the following stats of 22, 12, 22, 4, 17, and 8. Ah, yes. Let's see here. Lorndar. Even if Mystic is banned in a campaign, one monk can ruin a single boss encounter. Yeah, that's for sure, too. If that stunning blow gets off, forget it. That's why you got to make sure a boss monster has high constitution and a saving throw in constitution as well to avoid that problem. Or you just really lay into it and let that character shine, and then the boss monster just gets ripped apart. Who knows? Go either way with it. Okay, next, let's see here. We go into the monster skill section. I almost drew a blank there. We have 3 saves, strength, con, and wisdom. So we will bump that up to 3 to 4 for a +2 bonus. We have some vulnerabilities, Radiant, and since Radiant isn't a highly used damage type, there we go, that's the word I was looking for, we're going to skip over that. Plus, it's only 1 instance of this, so I wouldn't really worry about vulnerabilities. We do have damage resistances to cold, necrotic, lightning, bludgeoning, slashing, piercing from non-magical, so we will go with the damage resistances, but we also see fire and poison. Both of these are highly used stuff, which we might want to take into consideration. I mean, most likely poison, most players should never use poison. Poison is the most resisted damage type out there. So just because of the sake of I always push, make sure three types or more, we're going to go with resistances. So let's see where this pops us to. And we should have a CR12 monster. But as Clawpaw said before, possibly 14. So we have, in our monster trait section, we have Devil's Sight. Magical darkness does not impede the monster's dark vision. Cool, doesn't affect the CR. Same with magic weapons, that doesn't affect the CR as well. We have Sun Sickness. While in sunlight, the monster has disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. The monster dies if it spends more than 1 hour in direct sunlight. So this is very akin to the hyper sunlight sensitivity from vampires. The funny part is, not going to affect the CR because in theory, we are playing to the benefit or the strengths of the monster, and the monster won't be in sunlight. Let's see here. Clawpaw. Yes, my poison Yuan T rogue is crying at this comment. Very, very true. Then we also have innate spellcasting. We have at will detect magic and fireball. Fireball, I see it so much. I know offhand it is 56 damage on average. And then 3 each of wall of fire. I think wall of fire is 44? 45, that was close. There we go. So we can put that in as well. And something to definitely concentrate on. Okay. Then moving down we have our actions, and we have a bonus action of Quicken Spell. Let's take a look here. Demos can cast a spell it knows as a bonus action. So yeah, this is going to be very akin to, our sorcerers. And we can do this once, so either Wall of Fire or the Fireball will be quickened as a bonus action, and then we can still do our multi-attacks. So now that I've got that in my mind, we can move into the actions, and we'll see that we have a +11 to hit, and with a CR 12, that would be 4 plus 6. So I'm seeing 10 at the moment. Unless we go with 14, then we have the 11. So I'll go with what you have here for 11, and we'll say 11 for now, and then go from there. So first we have our Bone Mace, which is dealing, what is that, 13 bludgeoning damage. So that's 3.57 plus 6. I think that, yeah, that is 13. Perfect. Okay, so we have 13 there, plus we have 44 fire damage, an additional 10. And then we have Hurl Flame, a ranged spell attack. And let's see, that is going to be 10.5 damage. And if the target is flammable object, it isn't being mortar carried, it catches fire. Okay, so that's it for that. And we can do 2 attacks with the mace and 1 with its Hurl Flame. You know, the funny part is about these combinations, which I generally don't bother taking into account, is that if you're doing the Bone Mace attack, it means you have someone in melee range. But then you also you hurl the fire, you do like the Hurl Flame, which is a ranged spell attack. Because you have someone in melee, that hurled flame or a ranged spell attack is going to be at disadvantage because you have someone pestering you and you can't concentrate on the ranged attack spell properly. So technically, Hurl Flame should be at disadvantage when you make the attack. But for all intents and purposes, I don't bother with it. Okay, so 2 mace attacks, plus 1 of these Hurl Flames. And I have a cat walking by my screen. Give me a second. Come on, Dexter. Buddy, you just, alright. You went under the Mike Boone arm. This is the worst spot you could go. This is your spot on the cat scratcher. Please stay there. Okay, there we go. Alright, or on my lap. Lap works too. Feline passing, yes. I need one of those train crossing guards on the screen when I get a cat, getting in the way. Ding 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 ding. Okay, so let's see here. So we have a multi-attack of 56.5 damage on average, and we can do that every round of combat, plus we can do our Wall of Fire and our Fireballs. So this is going to be a lot of damage. We're going to do our multi-attack, and as a bonus action, we're going to quicken a spell. And first off, we would quicken Wall of Fire. And then, on rounds 2 and 3, we will do our multi-attack, quicken Fireball, and we are still concentrating on Wall of Flame. We're getting a lot of damage. And then for round 2, we do the same. We are still concentrating on Wall of Fire. In theory, we are still doing damage. We have placed Wall of Fire in such a way that we are getting at least 2 failed saves worth of damage. We're looking at CR 17. because we can quicken those spells, we're doing a load of damage here. Okay, so with that, let's just say we somehow bypass resistances. So just for the fun of it, let's go and say no more resistances. We've somehow worked past it. Our melee have magical weapons and our spellcasters are not doing those types of damage. We bumped down from a 17 to a 16, so not a whole lot there, but I need to fix something. We've bumped up CR well higher, much higher than CR 12. So let's throw in a 17 and see if that adjusts the final CR. Okay, it does. So this means we've now bumped up so high that our resistances mean nothing. We've gone from 1.25 to 1 times the hit points because we just hit CR 16. So let's bring that back down to 16, and we're in a god darn infinite loop. 16, we go to 17, we're bouncing back and forth. Ugh. Okay. So where do we leave this at? What are we going to say? Let's just leave it at 16. We'll say that more than likely because at this point in time, because our players are certainly going to figure out some way to bypass resistances, it's going to not really have any effect anyways, and we'll see CR 16. Yes, the infinite loop at specific CRs, and you hit this one, the highest one, which bounces back and forth between 16 and 17. That's okay. It happens a lot. I've seen it. Shoot, I saw it with an official monster too, out of the monster manual. I don't recall which one it was anymore, but it was there. It's in the shorts, and I have the whole, like, the video crashes and goes crazy. It was fun. It was a fun one. Okay, so how do we fix this? The first thing I would say is, let's not do quicken spells to bring this back down to a 12 or a 14. So let's go in here. We'll put all these. I don't want to put those to 0. We'll just fix these. So we'll get rid of that, and we will get rid of all that, and we will get rid of. Okay, so there we go. If we get rid of, yeah, there you go. You know the one. If we get rid of our quickened spells, we drop all the way down to CR 11, which, surprisingly enough, is a little under what you had suggested. So let's look at this. Because we have Wall of Fire and as a concentration spell, I would always recommend doing that, because that's added damage. And if you place it in such a way, you're always hopefully going to be dealing that damage. So the first round, I would say 45. And then rounds 2 and 3, we would do our multi-attack, plus we would do our multi-attack damage, and then we bump up to CR 13. Interesting. So we're still kind of floating around there. If we want to hit that CR 12, then I would say, I don't know, we could play around with the damage dice a little bit for Bone Mace and Hurl Flame, but, you know, it's somewhere around there. You want to add in the vulnerability into the base? If we do that, that's going to really drop it down a bit. Let's see here. Yeah, if we add in vulnerabilities, we drop that down, and if we add in the... Alright, so let's add in the... let's go back a bit. So we go back to the CR 16, and we'll add in vulnerabilities. Okay, let's see what happens there. Okay, if we add in vulnerabilities, then we got a CR 13, which is pretty much right around where you were looking for the monster to begin with. So if you want to go with that, I would definitely suggest some vulnerabilities as well. I don't know, maybe some special type of weapon, you know, maybe a sword, dagger, or mace made out of some rare metal that the players could work towards getting to make sure they're prepped for this type of encounter. Or, you know, you could throw in some kind of magic type. You know, maybe it's also vulnerable to thunder and force damage. You know, it is a skeleton, so at least the picture shows it as a skeleton, so it could be vulnerable to those items as well. And maybe they find magical weapons that deal that type of extra damage. Oh, very good. Yep, I got you. Okay, so if your player base has they have those types of an ultra large mace. very good point. One of those like comically enlarged maces, like from World of Warcraft or an anime or something, where it's just obscenely large. That'd be fun. That could be really fun. There was one somewhere, story time again. I don't remember, I think I saw a video about this, and it was talking about how to make D&D similar to The Witcher, where the players have to go and hunt down one monster, but they have to learn about the monster and find out its weaknesses and whatnot. That could be something that, you know, the players need to really research and figure out, oh, okay, we're going after this crazy undead titan called Demos, and what do we know about it? Nothing. All right, let's go do some research. And they find out, oh, it's vulnerable to radiant and also force and thunder or whatever. Let's go find us some extra weapons that do that. And you could kind of work off that. My character is based off of the Lupus Rex. What's Lupus Rex from? Oh, you talking like maybe anime or something, Cheryl? And Clawpaw says the Anti-Skeletonator, the comically large mace. Nice. All right, we got another like 15 minutes or so? Do we have another monster lined up, or anyone have a request? I see we have, you know, couple extra people here. So if you have anything you'd like to see exposed live, now's the time. We got some time here. Everything that I was set up to do is all set and taken care of, and there's nothing left in the Discord channel for the CR Sleuths Discord. So there's something, yeah? Something, please, throw it this way. Drake Terry, hey, how's it going? You saw me on Zbashu's stream? That's cool. Yeah, I was there just having some fun answering some questions while he was busy talking with other people and talking to his donators. How much do you draw from his inspiration, inspiration-wise? I'm sure some of his videos have inspired me somewhere down the line. I absolutely love watching his videos. They are so much fun. I can't tell you offhand, Drake, what he's inspired me by, but I'm sure I pulled something from some of his videos for sure. Let's see here. The Tarkin Assassin from Eberron, if you want something official. Oh, right. Clawpaw had the Palumu. I forgot about that. Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry, Clorox. We will definitely do that. Remind me next time. And actually, I just used that assassin too, which was pretty fun. Palumu. Palumu. All right, let me grab the link for that. Monster Hunter. Okay. And let's get that one up. All right, page 243. Oh, what happened there? Son of a gun. All right, 212, 222, 234. Gotta go a little bit further. There we go. All right. Palumu. Ah, yes, I have. I've been specifically going through them and doing one a week, Clorox. Although this week I didn't get a chance to. Someone had requested Minsk and Boo's Journal of Villainy, so I've been working on that one as well. I make sure to get a couple more, like I'll get one Eberron, one Minsk and Boo, and then some others, like either from Creature Codex, from Kobold Press, and whatnot. I've been bouncing all over the place now, which is excellent to have the extra requests here. Oh, this is a small one. Oh my god, this is amazing. Is this the Palumu, Clawpaw? Because that thing is adorable. A flying wyvern, but it looks like just a balloon mouse with wings. That is amazing. Alright, let's clear out the tool here. And we will take a look at the Palumu. A flying large wyvern, unaligned. Okay. We've got 16 AC. It is a large wyvern, which, you know, when you think about it, is absolutely frightening, considering this thing looks like it should be tiny. Yes, the fluffy sphere bat. That's amazing. Minsk and Booze was nice. It was cool to get a pseudo-official stat block for Mephistopheles and Beelzebul. Actually, Beelzebul is who I looked at this week, so that will be coming up. Cheryl said, yes, it's cute but deadly. I am sure it is. It inflates when angry, and it is adorable. Okay, let's see here. We got 15 D10 hit dice with a Constitution bonus of 18. Should be a CR7. And we have nothing else to worry about here. So we can move right down into the Blind Panic feature. If the Palumu is flying and becomes blinded, it panics, ending its enlarge and falls prone. Okay. So this is a very specific condition, doesn't really do much unless people know to blind it, which I'm sure you would in the Monster Hunter world. So we'll just skip right down into the multi-attack here, which to have a CR7 at this point means these are going to be doing a lot of damage. So let's see what we have here. We have a +7, and we are looking at what makes 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its tail. Oh, Lord. Let's see here. Okay. So we're looking at, ooh, all right, 15 damage for the bite or 20 damage while enlarged. So we're going to say enlarged for now. We'll go with that. And then we'll come back to this and see what happens if it's not enlarged. So we'll go with the higher damage for now. And 17.5 while enlarged for the bite. So we're doing this. Plus that. I don't... If this hits CR7, I'll be impressed. We're looking at 37.5. Alright, so... times 3. No, we have a CR5. How in the world do you pull a CR7 out of that? 10-foot reach. Oh, it's flying. And it's under... Okay, so that's one thing we got to add in. This is a flyer. And it is a... Ooh, well... Okay, the tail can hit, but the bite doesn't, which means to do both of these, we would have to get into melee. So we can't add in the flying bonus. Interesting. Am I missing something? It's that's haha. There's more stat block. Okay. Let's keep going. Dive bomb. All right. If the Palumu is flying, enlarged, and dives at least 10 feet straight towards a target, it can use its action to slam its body in a space that contains one or more other creatures. Each of those creatures must succeed on a strength or dex saving throw, target's choice, or be knocked prone, taking 31 damage. On a success save, the creature takes only half damage, isn't knocked prone. So, alright, blah, blah, blah. If the creature falls prone. Okay. So we have a dive bomb here, which we're targeting multiple creatures, so we can get, let's see here, 31.5 times 2 for a total of 63 there. Okay. There's the enlarge. I was like, where do we get the enlarge? Where was that coming from? For 1 minute each, the Palumu magically increases in size. Okay, so we've used the enlarge here. In theory, we would say it gets enlarged before battle starts. This is one of those things where I would say, oh, it sees you and starts to blow up before combat starts. And then we have Wind Burst, recharge 5 to 6. The Palumu exhales a blast of strong wind. Alright, yada yada yada. DC strength save, takes 38 thunder damage, and knocked prone. The wind tunnel disperses gas or vapors. Okay, fluff text. Cool. Alright, so are we looking at pretty much the same thing here? No, 31. Alright. Also, I can just commend the intro where the Palumu is shown, just a guy floating around, and then too cute. Nice. Okay, so each creature in the line. All right, perfect. We are looking at 2 here. Excellent. So 76 points of damage. All right, wow. So the dive bomb does do more damage. In theory, we would only get the dive bomb once because, let's see here. What is the intelligence and wisdom? All right, so we don't have a very smart creature. So the creature is going to do the same pattern of attack. And because its wisdom is so low, let me go to some notes here I have. Actually, I'll have that ready for next time. Oh, no. This is where I get the notes from. The monsters know. This guy's website is fantastic. This is where I get a lot of my stuff for the battle tactics videos. Okay, so we have our 3 intelligence. So because the creature's intelligence is 7 or less, they work off of instinct, which is appropriate. Wisdom 10. Let's see here. A creature with 8 to 11 knows when to flee, but is indiscriminate in choosing targets. Okay, so what about opportunity attacks? Does it matter about that? It probably wouldn't. It would provoke attacks of opportunity if it was fleeing, which means it probably would also provoke attacks of opportunity to fly back up to do the dive bomb. Let's see here. Okay. How are we working the dive bomb? If it's flying and dives at least 10 feet straight forward. All right, what's our fly speed? 60. Doesn't have flyby, so it would provoke an attack of opportunity, we don't really worry too much about that because, you know, it's not that bright of a monster with intelligence 3 and a wisdom of 10. It will probably provoke regardless. So I would think the dive bomb could happen every round. All right, so the first thing it would do might be to, well, actually, you know what? Does the wind burst push? Well, it does knock people prone, so that could give disadvantage for opportunity attacks, which would be fun. So we could do this. Let's say we do a dive bomb. First things first, bam, dive bomb. All right, we'll plow down, hit the creatures, 63 points of damage. And then the next thing we could do is, on the next turn, wind burst. We'll do that, and, you know, knock people prone, and then we'll go back up and do a dive bomb again. And now we have a CR8, so we're a little over over that. Most likely, in theory, the dive bomb probably wouldn't happen again on round 3, and we would probably just go in for the multi-attack there, and that's where we get our CR7. So if you are able to dive bomb again, you know, if you do this constant back and forth, oh, excuse me, if you do this constant back and forth with the Paolumu of dive bomb, wind burst, fly back up, dive bomb again, and somehow you are able to get the wind burst recharged on a 5 or 6, this could be an interesting combo back and forth and ending up with a CR8. Otherwise, dive bomb, wind burst, multi-attack, we have a CR7. So, you know, it's really within CR7, 8. It's not too terribly far off. I wouldn't, you know, argue too much with this. Let's see here. I mean, our OCR goes from a 10 to a 9. So yeah, it's not that terribly off. So that's cool. I like it. You know, CR7, 8. Awesome. Excellent. Okay. 5 minutes left. Let's see here. Was that Tarkanin Assassin? Let's see here. Yeah, this is the one I used. Awesome. Okay, this is from Eberron. Do I have the book ready? We can go a little over. Eberron, Rising from the Last War. Awesome. And that is on page 320. Now, if the page loads up, you can look at this real quick. CR2, actually. But who knows? We'll see what happens if my page loads. Come on. Ooh, nothing's loading. Weird. There we go. Okay. Nope, still not loading. We might have to skip this one for now. It is having a fit. Try this once more. Yeah, why is this wicked blurry too? Oh, my copy is so shot. That whole sidebar there is just messed up. Yeah, oh, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it tonight. It's having problems. Alright, we will look at this another night. Unfortunately, I mean, it's close enough to the end of the stream as it is, so we will take a look at that one next time. Just remember, remind me, Clawpaw, or Clorox, someone, to take a look at the Tarkanin Assassin. Actually, Lorindar should know. Lorindar got hit with the chromatic orb from this this particular assassin with his Githzerai astral self monk. So yes, unfortunately, we won't be able to look at the Tarkanin Assassin, but my buddy Lorindar knows what happens with the chromatic orb. Boom! Hit so hard. Got hit with thunder damage off of that. Oh man, ripped through him. It was very thematic too. I didn't have the magic go off right away. I didn't use the magic until the character got the NPC got hit like right down into like critical damage and almost died because I was using this whole group as a series of assassins. and it was pretty fun. Assassin slash well, not necessarily assassins, but they were hired to do a job, and then the boss. It was this whole thing, but yeah, changed the way I looked at that encounter for sure. Yeah, went from the monk ducking and dodging to I just lost half my health from a spell. Oh boy. Okay. So, that is the end of the stream. We took a look at 2 custom monsters and a third monster from, we'll go with third party. That was from ML Wind, who primarily focuses on the Monster Hunter conversion. Definitely suggest supporting him and his work. If you like Monster Hunter and want to bring it into your 5e world, go to, patreon.com/MLWind, AMELL, and then Wind, to check out his stuff. He's really great at also building custom monsters, just like Clorox is also excellent at it, and Clawpaw as well. Clawpaw always brings me a fun challenge for monsters. So yes, thank you all for joining me tonight on this Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on where you are in the world, as we exposed more 5e monster CR ratings. This is me, Andrew, asking, are your encounters even rated? Thanks for watching. You have all been amazing and awesome. As I like to do at the end of the show here. Clawpaw, Clorox, Lorindar, Cheryl, let's see here, who else? Drake, who stopped by. Thank you all. You've been awesome for stopping by and keeping me company. Wade as well. Don't want to forget Wade. Thank you for stopping by. You guys have been awesome. And if you watch the VOD later on in the weeks or months down the road, thank you for watching as well. Have a great night, everyone. And at some point in the future, we'll be doing live stream monster battles, as you don't normally get to see out in the world. So, orcs versus kobolds or vampires versus werewolves. We're going to start doing that at some point here on the challenge or channel and seeing how that goes. We're going to bring in my brother and see what kind of silly, ridiculous stuff we can get going with. Okay. That was a close save, mister. Yes. As always, thank you all. Clawpaw, thank you. You're fantastic for always being here, even though you have to get up wicked early or staying up wicked early in the morning. And have a great night, have a great morning, wherever you are in the world, and take care until next Friday. See you later. Bye-bye.